Hey everybody, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor.
My name's Hunter too.
And it has been, I think, 3 weeks since the two of us have come and made a podcast together. It is so much fun to be back. Hunter and I just talked about how we haven't really talked about college football for like at least 2 weeks, and it's just kind of weird being back. But
yeah, like all we talked about, like when I was at your wedding, was if you're nervous yet. So that was helpful.
Yeah. So a lot has happened since the last time we did a podcast. I've gone out of the country. Mississippi State has played two games, had a bye week.
We lost both of those games.
We lost our AD in the bye week. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You leave the country one time.
Mm-hmm. And you get blindsided by John CoHIM. But no, got married in that time period as well. So it's been a good time. But we are super excited to be back. It's a really good time for sports.
I never
last
left.
Week.
You're
right.
I made the Avengers last week. Thank you so much to our guests last week. That was a pretty fun episode. I haven't seen how it performed, but no one comes here for Jack. I'm the big draw here, so I'm sure it performed well.
Yeah.
Right?
Almost certainly. Yeah. I mean, it right now is a fun time for sports. I think, was it this week or last week? They had like what's called the sports equinox.
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Where all four major sports play on the same day. So you've got NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL, and amongst all that, which it's all been fun, you have the World Series going on, but amongst all of it, you got college football still in full swing. Had our first college football playoff rankings, which we'll talk about at some point. But before we get into all that right now, I want to give some marriage advice. Almost 2 weeks into this whole thing, just want to give some marriage advice that you might not hear from anybody else. This is just kind of fresh, but just don't go to bed. Don't go to bed angry. Just helps a lot of things if you just sort out your problems and just go to bed happy. And if you're angry at each other and you can't resolve it, just stay up. Just don't go to bed. And you know what? If it comes down to it, just sleep in separate bedrooms for your entire life. Courtney and I are trying that out, and it's worked wonders. So.
I bet you can't wait for your next wedding that y'all go to, so you can just give people wedding advice, like marriage advice.
Don't give me a microphone at a rehearsal dinner. This will
give you unsolicited advice.
Yeah, and I don't mean to air mine and Courtney's dirty laundry on the podcast, but separate bedrooms for us.
2 weeks in, separate bedroom. Glad y'all got that 2-bedroom suite on your honeymoon.
Over. Yep. All right. So moving on from that, we do want to give a good recap of some notable games that happened in the past 2 weeks, and none of the college football games have been good enough to talk about. Not even Alabama, Tennessee.
Yeah. You missed that. Yeah.
Actually, just wanted to talk about our fantasy football team that Hunter and I co-manage. It's a crass name, and I'm not proud of it. But CeeDee Lamb is our number 2 wide receiver, so we had to aptly name our team CeeDee's Nuts. And we had a big win over a team called Hail State, 102-53, and then a big win over a team named Socher, 131-120.
Is it Socher or Sachet?
It's Socher. I actually know that guy. So the big reason for that is that we're no longer having to resort to like Jimmy Garoppolo as our quarterback. Tua,
even though he was better.
He wasn't better than Dak last week. Okay, but Dak, we picked him up because somebody just dropped him when he got injured instead of putting him on the IR. So we took advantage of that, got Dak, so we're having a pretty good time there. 7-1 after being projected to go 1-13.
No, it was 0-14.
0-14. Yeah. So Yahoo wrote us off.
They didn't
we
trust
didn't
me.
Write back. Maybe you should have done some mock drafts, they said.
Yeah, they were like, you can always, in fantasy football, you don't get a second chance. But we have about 7 wins right now, so we are. I don't know how many. I don't know how many times over expected.
Infinitely better than we were projected to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we could lose out. And it'd be a successful season based on preseason projections. And it's not like we've cupcaked. We've lost Breece Hall. We've lost Javonte Williams. Like it's been a battle. We lost Tua.
Yeah. I mean, we've had to battle through CD not getting any catches for like 4 weeks straight.
Them just throwing it to Noah Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been a real inspirational run by this team. I do kind of think that we're going to look back at this as co-managers, and we're kind of going to look like the Moneyball A's after we lose.
We'll have a long winning streak, but we will not win the championship.
Oh, yeah, no chance.
So, anyway, since we don't have a game to look back and review from last week, since it was a bye week, and we will get into the John CoHIM talk in a little bit, but instead of doing a game review, we just want to do a honeymoon review. And what that's going to be is me and Hunter are just going to compare our honeymoons. So, Jamaica versus Mexico. I'm Team Mexico. You're Team Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
We could actually have like a World Cup preview, but no, we're not going to do that. So, tell us, what was your favorite thing that you ate while you were there?
There was like this bakery, and they had like crepes. And you could just like choose whatever you wanted in them. That was pretty fantastic. There was also a sushi restaurant that was really, really good. And as you know, all inclusive, you just get whatever you want. So ordering a grotesque amount of sushi. There was also a little jerk shack there, and some jerk chicken was pretty good. But I mean, I enjoyed everything. Ordering 2 appetizers everywhere was a good time, and 2 desserts, and then going and getting ice cream after.
Yeah. That was the silly part of this whole honeymoon thing. But yeah, we had like 5 restaurants at our resort, and one of them was a hibachi restaurant. That's the only one that you have to make a reservation for, but it's still included. You just have to make a reservation. And so did that about 3 times, 3 of the 5 nights we were there, and it was hard to beat that meal. I mean, just hibachi's fun in itself, but there was something about that. That food was really good.
There was also
like a make your own.
Yeah, there was this one place in Jamaica. It was like this. It was like one of the nicer restaurants. We never went there for dinner. Actually, we did, but it was like they had like a brunch, and I just got steak and eggs like 2 times.
Yeah,
so good.
There you go. Yeah, Courtney and I also got. I think it was actually gelato, but the sign said ice cream. It just felt a little different. We got that every single night. And
that's just ice cream before you put it into the big freezer. It's straight out of the ice cream machine.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's before you freeze it extra.
But I was going to try to like find that brand of gelato because that was like Courtney's favorite flavors that she had ever tried. And it is a brand that is completely just only in Cancun. It is made there and it does not export anywhere. So that's fun. But yeah.
Were there cats at your resort?
Were there cats? I think I did see one cat like kind of between our resort and the beach. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a bunch of pictures of just fat cats in Jamaica. So I enjoyed that. Did you do any fun excursions on yours?
We didn't do excursions. We did go parasailing one day.
That's pretty fun. I'm scared of that.
Yeah. Did parasailing, and then we went to a sauna one day, so that was kind of...
Saunas are weird.
Yeah.
Me and Sarah
went to a
also
sauna,
went
and
to
then
a sauna.
immediately into a steam room. So kind of dry and then completely moist, and it hurt.
Yeah, so this weird thing happened for me and Sarah on ours. We were like, okay, we have like an hour to spend before like, anything else happens. And then we're like, okay, these ladies came and asked if we wanted to go to like a steam room. So we go in and then they separate us. And they like take Sarah away to like the female side and me to the male side, and I go into the steam room because it's the one with all the steam in it. I'm like text Sarah. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I think we're getting abducted, but I guess just go into the steam room. There's worse things in the world to be abducted into, and she. I get in there, I feel great, and then like I reach my hand out and text her, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" And then she's like, "I'm dying. This is the hottest thing I've ever experienced." And I was like, "I don't think you're in the same room as me." She's like, "Yeah, I am. I'm in the steam room." And then like, turns out she was in a sauna for like 20 minutes. So there's that.
I think Courtney and I did 15, maybe 10 minutes in a sauna or something like that. So
steam rooms feel nice. Felt good on my nasal pathways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
And then,
how was your travel?
That's all like the. Wait, what?
How was your travel there?
It was honestly remarkably easy to get there, and like get from the airport to the hotel. That was like the hardest. That was like the thing I was like freaking out about the most, and that was super easy as well.
Did they have buses that picked you up?
I had made a reservation for like this van service to do it,
Yeah.
and kind of thought that was scary, but I trusted Nathan on that one, and he did not lead me astray. So, way too easy to get there. So, nothing's stopping me from doing it again besides my bank account.
I mean, you could just go. I mean, just put it on a credit card. What's it gonna do? Fly you back?
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Want that money back? Anyway, did y'all have any good? Advice. Did y'all have any good entertainment while you were there? Like shows or anything?
No, we really didn't go to them because it was a bunch of kind of cringy, like middle-aged people like dancing to Jamaican music, and I was like, that feels a little weird.
Yeah.
There was like
an
all-white party. Didn't like that. Didn't go to that. So, yeah.
Were y'all like easily the youngest people there when y'all?
There were a few people that we like saw like on the plane, and then like we got there and there was like the same people there, and they were about our age. I think there was like one group of people that they were like 20 compared to us being 22.
Yeah.
So
I think that was pretty similar. Like there might have been 2 or 3 couples that were mine and Courtney's age, but everybody else was a little older. But anyway, we had some fun entertainment. It was like a magic show one day, and
I would have went to a magic show, but ours was just all white parties.
Yeah, and then I watched the World Series one day.
I also went to my honeymoon during a World Series.
Yeah, you just had to watch Ole Miss win it, though.
Nope, it wasn't on TV. It was blacked out.
Oh, really?
So I had to, on my honeymoon, pull up my phone and watch it. But it's time.
What a shame. Mm-hmm. Well,
that was pretty fun.
Yeah. So
that was our first time talking about our honeymoons to each other.
Yeah, if you could just feel the organic conversation there. It was real. So that's it for the honeymoon review. Unless you have anything else to add, now we're going to move into the
not really
to the Auburn preview, which got a little spicier last Saturday when we found out that John CoHIM was in talks with Auburn to become their new AD, and then very quickly became that was what was happening. So John CoHIM to Auburn at a really odd time. I mean, the middle of a football season, and it makes it even weirder that it's the week that we play Auburn in football. But all that said, I mean, it's when the opportunity comes up, teams don't want to, or schools don't want to go without an athletic director for too long, and
they've been without one since like March.
They had. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was like
I think they fired theirs during the whole like Harsin and his assistant drama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they've been without an AD for quite.
I was thinking it was just like a quick turnaround, like they fired him and hired CoHIM immediately.
No, it's been really weird.
Yeah. Anyway, I really do. I mean, I'm not gonna discredit anybody from ever going from Mississippi State to Auburn. I mean, Auburn is an infinitely better athletic department, school, whatever. Just for the fact that, I mean, if you recruit good, you can win a national championship.
The only issue being is you had to play Georgia and Alabama every year.
Yeah, but I mean, the teams that have won national championships. I mean, like you beat both of those teams, like you're in good position.
Yeah.
I mean, in the past few years, I mean, Georgia has become maybe even a bigger obstacle than Bama has. But I mean, you've got the path and you have the money and you have the history as well. That's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Cohen, it's definitely not a lateral move for him. But football is still key. I mean, this under this athletic director, or their past athletic director, Alan Green, Auburn basketball and baseball was as good as it's ever been. And I mean, it still didn't matter.
They're really good at gymnastics and stuff too.
Yeah, but he made one wrong hire in football, and that was it for him. And I mean, that John CoHIM kind of has history of making a couple of bad moves in football, but we'll see if that continues. Because if it does,
most everything else.
Yeah.
But it's whatever.
It's whatever. If he continues making moves like that, he will not be the Auburn AD for very, very long. But I'm excited for him. I mean, it's definitely, like I said, it's not a lateral move. He definitely upgraded his job and got a hefty raise, I'm sure.
It is weird that we couldn't keep him. I don't know if we had told him to like kind of explore for other jobs or something. I know people said that all that stuff was fake, but I could completely see us saying that being the reason that he goes. Because us firing someone like that would be like, that's like your hometown guy played baseball there, then firing. If we fired him, that would be.
And it would be a bad look that we fired him when he seemingly brought us our first national championship game. Like I think that has bought him a lot of time and given him a lot of credit that I'm not entirely sure that he deserves. But I mean, Lamonis is his hire, so I guess he does get the credit for that. But anyway, yeah. So I know you've alluded to it, but yeah, Brian Harsin also, was that Saturday or Sunday?
Monday.
It was Monday. Okay, so Monday it was announced that he had been fired, which came to no surprise. The only surprise in that is that it didn't happen 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But he's out as the head coach, and Cadillac Williams is going to be the interim. He was an All-American running back at Auburn in the early 2000s, had an NFL career, and has been the running back coach at Auburn since 2019. Really nervous about that going into a game against Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn having an interim coach that's a running back coach, and their two best players being Jarquez Hunter and Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
And their quarterback who can also run. They may run 60 times on us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not entirely excited about what's going to happen on Saturday, but that being said, like Auburn is not a good team.
No.
That's kind of still what's scary about it, is that like we know they're not good. We're 12.5 point favorites. Auburn is on a 4-game losing streak. Those games are to LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, and Arkansas. They've given up 40-plus points in the last 3 games to 3 good offenses. I'll give you that. But I'm just.
They scored a lot on Ole Miss.
They did score a lot on Ole Miss, and they scored. So they scored 34 against Ole Miss at Ole Miss. They scored 27 against Arkansas last week. Their defense, I mean, is just non-existent sometimes, or most of the time, really. And but that offense, I mean, they're putting points on the board. That's the weird thing. And now, I mean, did it ever seem to you like they quit for Harsin? I mean,
they're so weird. Like
the games don't make it look like that. But
like, I think a lot of them aren't playing for Harsin. They're just playing for themselves at that point. Like Tank Bigsby, you play yourself into the league basically. Make money with this season. Mm-hmm. Their quarterbacks, none of them have been good enough to coast because they only have like one shot. I mean, when TJ Finley was in there, I mean, he's bad, but like he has a try. Their new freshman that they have, that I can't tell if he's like decent or like absolutely horrid sometimes.
Yeah. He was the one that played the majority against Ole Miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, he had good throws. I mean,
he's weird. I mean, I guess he's just a freshman SEC quarterback, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the rest of Auburn's coaching staff's going to look like this week. I don't know how many people really stayed. So,
yeah. I mean, the one thing I think of when I think of a running backs coach becoming the interim is I guess it was the Gator Bowl when we played Louisville right after Dan Mullen had gotten fired or not fired, after Dan Mullen left to go to Florida. And our running backs coach became the interim, and just that team looked as good as as good as we had ever looked. And we just wiped the floor with Louisville. And
the interim bump has been like really big this year. Like
yeah, and I'll say in that game, 2017, I don't think of that team as just being some like stand up defense. We forced like 4 turnovers on Lamar Jackson. Like that defense just came out of nowhere. And that, I mean, I know that it's not really realistic to think that the 2017 Mississippi State and 2022 Auburn are going to have a similar jump just because of an interim coach. But like
interim coaches are scary.
Defense could just show up out of nowhere because these players could finally have a coach that they relate to more, that that they want to play for more. Like I don't know, an interim coach it's a weird game to play in, and an Auburn team that legitimately has nothing to lose. I mean, all these guys are just playing to prove themselves, and that's a scary place to be in for Mississippi State this weekend. But that being said, I mean, Auburn, like we said, Auburn's not a great team. They're on a 4-game losing streak. We're on a 2-game losing streak. Other than Tank Bigsby, who you've already mentioned, I mean, he has 587 rushing yards. He's really their bright spot on offense. They don't really have a bright spot on defense that I can tell. I mean, it's hard for me to picture us not winning this game, but the whole interim narrative and all that going on, that's their ticket to win.
And the fact that I picked Auburn to win this game and in the preseason, and my picks are currently, would that be?
You're 8-0.
Yeah, I'm 8-0 on picks right now, and I have us losing to Auburn in the preseason.
Hey,
so
would you be fine with getting this game right and Auburn actually winning, and then you also getting next week's right and us beating Georgia?
Can I get the one after East Tennessee State right as well?
Are we beating Ole Miss in your prediction?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can get that one right too.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Wacky 8-4 with wins over Georgia.
I will trade you a loss to Auburn for wins over Ole Miss and Georgia. Yes. Take that every day.
One thing with this Auburn thing, I guess that means we have a coach opening. Who do you think is going to be their coach?
So the names that I see thrown out there are the same names that everybody sees right now. You got Hugh Freeze, Lane Kiffin, and Deion Sanders.
And Matt Rule.
Matt Rule?
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen that actually.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just his agent pumping it, but he is getting a little bit of talk.
I don't think that it's going to be Deion.
No.
First of all, I think Lane Kiffin. There's definitely some traction there in my mind. The scary thing would be Lane Kiffin to Auburn and then Deion to Ole Miss.
That would kill me.
I would hate that so very much. Mississippi State would never get an in-state recruit ever again.
We may move to the Sun Belt if that happens.
We may just move to Louisiana.
We're gonna go start a rivalry with Mississippi College.
You just want to become Jackson State fans at that point? Actually, no. Now would be the time.
At that point.
Yeah, that would be more like it. Now would be the time to be Jackson State fans. But anyway, I mean, who do you think realistically is going to Auburn?
The Hugh Freeze stuff is weird because that doesn't seem. like people talk about him having success at Liberty. It's not like that impressive of success. I believe that I mean, he had like the past 3 years with an like Auburn commit quarterback, like that was like rated just by Bo Nix, but then transferred because the prodigal son returned to Auburn, and for some reason they chose him, Bo Nix the GOAT. So, I mean, he had the best quarterback compared to his competition. Tell me like some big Liberty win in the past 3 years.
Over BYU last week.
BYU's trash now.
Yeah, I know.
I picked them for my playoffs.
During our talk about John CoHIM to Auburn, me and you both admitted that that the move from Mississippi State to Auburn, very similar to a move for Dan Mullen from Mississippi State to Florida. They're not lateral moves. Like those are definite upgrades for John CoHIM and Dan Mullen, and that's something that Ole Miss fans cannot come to terms with for Lane Kiffin if he decided to go to Auburn, which if he wanted to, I mean, if he wants to go there, he absolutely has that. I mean, he would have that job in a heartbeat.
Like 2 years or like a year ago, there were talks with Lane, but something didn't get worked out, and then he just got a big payday at Ole Miss. So that happened. I don't know really many specifics on that, but a bunch of like mods on Auburn's boards were talking about that. I just don't see how Hugh Freeze is hireable. The dude's weird. Seems like an objectively bad guy. But
what I was saying, like Ole Miss fans can't seem to understand that Auburn is a better athletic department and a better school than Ole Miss is as well.
They're like
your ceiling was reached last year at 10-2, which is a very good season, like a
could happen again this year.
Candidate quarterback, and fans just continue to not show up to the very next year, which could be another 10-win season pretty easily.
I don't know, bro. They had a sellout when their coach got on his hands and knees and begged.
I'm just going to tell you, if you win 10 games at Auburn, you're not going to have to sit on your hands and knees and beg for fans to show up.
And like the rest of the athletic department will be like pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it's not like Ole Miss just won national championship. But
the fans do leave when their team is up 28-3 at halftime. But that's kind of
Brian
expected
Larson
as well. Yeah, you're right. Anyway.
So your official guess is Lane?
I think Lane, yeah.
I have a tough if they want him. I don't think that any loyalty is gonna keep Lane at Ole Miss. So if I believe that Auburn wants him, and I've seen that Auburn wants him, and I think that the Hugh Freeze thing is weird and not real, I have to say Lane.
And that also is probably definitely some bias in there for me, like me wanting to get Lane out of here.
I mean, no, he's going to an SEC West team.
Yeah, I mean, we're still gonna have to play against him. I'm just gonna be less annoyed every time I go on Twitter. So anyway, that's all I got on that. That's gonna move us right into our pick 'em for the week. So last week, Freddie picked for me, and he, I think, won by 2 games. So
I believe you have to do something with one pick to reconcile.
Oh yes. He did pick Southern University to beat Jackson State, and upon looking at his picks before they were ever made officially on the podcast, I told Hunter there's no way, absolutely no way that I'm taking that pick. So I'll take credit for all of James's other 9 Freddy's other 9 picks, but I will officially be changing.
You disavow.
Disavow that pick for Southern University to beat Jackson State, especially since the final score was 35-0, I believe. Ugh. What were you thinking, dude?
It's okay. He
All
he,
right.
he he wiped the floor with me on the rest of them.
Yeah, he did. I think went like 7-3 or something.
Maybe, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Better
well,
than
me
me.
and Hunter are tied. Me and Hunter are tied in the pick'em again. Um, what 70 games in or something like that,
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yeah,
and
yeah.
we
I
are
think so.
tied.
It's
So
very, very
go
stupid.
going into these 10 games, we're tied, and again, the pick'em bet is that whoever has the worst record at the end of the year
Wait,
has
we are
to
90
purchase
games in, Jack,
90 games in.
and
Jeez.
we are tied.
Whoever has the worst record at the end of the year has to purchase a transfer to the SIP or something of the equivalent hoodie and post a picture on their real Instagram account. Um, and they are not able to say that this is a joke. You have to keep it on your Instagram. You cannot delete it. Doesn't have to be a gas station picture, but that is preferred. And so yeah, so they can be transferred to the SIP, goodest boy in the SIP, um, come to the SIP, party in the SIP, whatever you want. But
Lane train, maybe? Like, that could be.
lane train's up there, yeah. We probably are going to do a wheel spin to determine which actual shirt you have to get.
No
But
Colonel Reb will be on it.
yeah, we are not here to get canceled. But yeah,
For good reason. For good reason.
That's the pick'em bet. Yes. Um, that we're going to start off this week with an unranked matchup, but an intriguing one nonetheless. A team that we've talked about already a little bit on this podcast, Liberty, led by Hugh Freeze as the head coach. They're traveling to Fayetteville to play Arkansas. The one big connection these two teams have, they've both beaten BYU in the last 3 weeks. Liberty at 7-1, Arkansas at 5-3. Who you got in this game?
Give me Arkansas. They're kind of back.
Yeah, KJ Jefferson, kind of the real deal, and he showed it the week after we beat them when they were playing at BYU. I'm taking Arkansas pretty easily here.
Mm-hmm.
Game number 2, we've got number 4 Clemson at Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Speaking of teams that are back,
back kind of pending back.
Pending back. Okay. What do we have an update on their record since Marcus Freeman became Catholic?
I know they lost to Stanford, which was weird. But it's infinitely better than his record before converting to Catholicism.
Yeah. So since becoming a Catholic, right after their upset loss to Marshall, they are. Wow, they're very impressive since then.
It's like kind of nuts.
They're 5-1 with wins against Syracuse, UNLV, BYU, North Carolina, and Cal, and they have lost the one game to Stanford. So now they're playing number 4 Clemson, hosting number 4 Clemson, and just give me Clemson in this one.
Yeah, I need Notre Dame to win this, so Clemson's going to.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But touchdown Jesus is real, so please, I want to be wrong here.
Yeah. All right, next game we've got Florida traveling to College Station at Texas A&M, an A&M team who 8-4 is off the table now after they lost to Ole Miss, so they're fighting for 7-5. They may just be fighting
playoffs.
fighting for bowl
games
for bowl eligibility now. They're 3-point favorites at home against Florida, and I'm taking the Aggies in this one.
Yeah, taking the Aggies too. Florida may have made a disastrous hire.
You think?
Yeah, I think Billy Napier may be kind of bad.
It's
I don't like
it's
his
really
vibes.
funny when you see it is really funny when you see a coach turn down a lot of good job offers. Not saying that Mississippi State and Ole Miss are like premier job offers, but better than UL Lafayette. And not just turn them down, but like scoff at them. It's really funny to see.
And then like publicly say like he didn't want the South Carolina. Like it was weird stuff. And then he goes to Florida, and I hope he doesn't succeed because Florida made the wrong decision.
Yeah. I absolutely do not care anything for that guy. So hopefully they lose this game. And
justice for Dan.
yeah.
People told Dan to start Anthony Richardson, but a year younger, against Alabama last year, and then got mad when Florida lost by 1.
Yeah, it's not I guess my thing is not really that I don't really care much for Billy Napier, which I mean the whole thing about him like laughing our AD off the phone, yeah, that kind of makes me mad. But yeah, Florida in general, just thinking that an SEC championship appearance is not good enough for them, that's laughable right
they
there.
They played them well in that SEC
twice, yeah. Anyway, yeah, give me the Aggies in that one. Yeah. Next game, Texas Tech at number 7 TCU. It's a great time to remind everybody that everything, and I mean everything, in this college football universe runs through Lubbock. This game's not played in Lubbock, but it was just a good reminder. TCU will run through the Red Raiders, though. So
yeah. Also picking TCU.
Yeah. Can't wait for the hype video after this game.
It's so good. I love them.
No. All right. Game number 5, we've got Kentucky at MSU in just what is more than likely going to be the most disgusting game of football you'll watch all day. Yeah, you're going to have to answer this one first.
I don't like it, but I'm going Kentucky. One of these teams was ranked like number 13 in the country and then lost to South Carolina. Another one of these teams was unranked and beat a ranked South Carolina. So obviously I'm picking Kentucky on the road
against a team that
beat the team
took Georgia to the last possession in their house.
But Mizzou also has like the worst quarterback in the SEC. But also, like, Will Levis exist. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, give me Kentucky.
I don't want to talk about this next game.
People are still saying Will Levis is better than Bryce Young.
Yeah. Did you see the thing today?
I did. Yeah. Please quit with it.
And I think Anthony Richardson was over Hendon Hooker.
Oh, gosh.
Which I still don't know if Hendon Hooker is good. I cannot tell.
Yeah.
Everyone's wide effing open. Like
Game number 6 is our first ranked matchup, and it's found in the ACC. We've got number 21 Wake Forest at number 22 NC State. Just gross. 2 teams that are gross.
2 teams that are ranked only to keep Clemson at number 4.
Yeah, I mean that is the reason. For no other reason than like I remember them playing Clemson close, and I just feel like they're a better team in my mind. Give me Wake Forest.
Yeah, give me Wake Forest too.
All right, that's all we got on that one. Game number 7 is another ranked matchup. Number 24 Texas at number 13 Kansas State. Just a weird one. I mean, in some games you see Kansas State fall to Tulane. In some games you see Kansas State beat a top 10 team 48-0. Make it make sense.
With a backup quarterback.
I will say, Kansas State has the primary color of purple. I know purple's not a primary color, but like their main color is purple. Texas, as we know, is anti-purple.
I thought that was Oklahoma that's anti-purple.
Well, Oklahoma,
on their website.
Oklahoma loses to purple teams. Yeah. Texas says that their colors will never...
Opposed to purple.
They are opposed to purple. They're not allergic to it. They're opposed to it. I think they're just going to be sickened by what they see on the field in these purple home unis that Kansas State dons every week. I gotta take the Wildcats here.
Yeah, as well.
All right, we travel to Bryant-Denny West, number 6 Alabama, who hasn't lost in Baton Rouge since 2010. They're traveling to number 10 LSU. A top 10 matchup that we all saw coming.
Oh,
Give me
yeah,
Alabama.
yeah. Give me Alabama. But I wouldn't be surprised if LSU won. Jaden Daniels, if you look at the stats, is like as good as Bryce Young this year. Um, it's kind of weird.
This is not a podcast based on looking at stats, Hunter. This is a podcast based on vibes and vibes alone.
So tell me the second best offensive player on Alabama.
Dude, I couldn't tell you any player on Alabama besides Bryce Young.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Ja'Cory Brooks, I guess. They're kind of gross. Alabama's weird. I don't know about them. Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, I'm still taking Bama here.
Yeah, me as well.
Game number 9. I think on AP poll it's number 1 versus number 2, but we're going by CFP rankings. The first one came out this week. Got number 1 Tennessee at number 3 Georgia, and somehow this is not America's game of the week. We'll find out why in just a little bit. But man, this is going to be a fun one. I think I got to look up what the official line is right now. You can keep talking while I do that though.
It is Georgia by 8.
Georgia by 8, because that makes all the sense in the world. I think this is a chance for Tennessee. I mean, obviously, to prove that. I mean, that what's been the topic of conversation the last week or two is Tennessee as good as 2019 LSU? And where I don't think that's true right now, this could be their opportunity to prove to me and to everybody else that that they're for real, that they deserve a spot. And I mean, this is to claim their spot in the SEC championship game. And if they lose, they probably have a better chance to make it to the playoff, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But Georgia also has a chance to prove that they're like they didn't take a step back. That Stetson Bennett can win these big games still, and that they're still the premier school in not just the SEC but all of college football. Like Georgia could claim their spot right back after a couple of weeks where they've just had some lackluster performances. I'm going to take Georgia, and it kind of has to do with the fact that they're at home, but they don't really have that great of a home field advantage, I don't think. I'm going to take Georgia here and just not buy into the Tennessee hype. I think their defense is kind of non-existent at some points, and I think Georgia's going to be able to exploit that.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to go the opposite here. I'm going to buy into the Tennessee hype. Yeah. I know I talk about, like, is Hendon Hooker good? I don't know. But the stuff is just so schemed up perfectly by Heupel. And everyone's wide open. He's really good. He puts the ball on him easy. Hyatt is just an insane receiver. Like, he's so good. I'm not sure if Georgia has anyone that can cover him. Tennessee, like I know, like the comparisons to 2019 LSU. Early in the season, 2019 LSU did not have a good defense. Like we watched really Sam Ehlinger go up against them. I mean, and then at like midway through the season, something clicked, and they were just forcing turnovers. Like not it just being like luck. They are forcing turnovers, making stuff happen, and that's just the kind of defense that they turned into. And you could see that same thing happening with Tennessee. Like, I mean, Kentucky ran 36 times for 107 yards. Will Levis threw 27 times, completed 16 for 98 yards and 3 interceptions. And I know we don't like Will Levis or anything, but holding that offense to basically nothing is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But that spot was also disastrous for Kentucky, in hindsight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my take.
So you're taking
Tennessee.
So that's the one game so far that we have differed on. So things could change this week in the standings. That is if we don't differ on this game as well. So America's game of the week. Sadly, it's an unranked matchup, but it's America's game of the week nonetheless. Auburn at Mississippi State. Whew. What are we thinking?
I got the Dogs, even though I hate it and I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. We talked a lot about the interim coach thing being really, really scary for Mississippi State, but I think Auburn is just really bad, and I think our offense is going to have no problem moving up and down the field the whole game. We've had 2 weeks, two games in a row of just playing in Lexington does something to us every time, and then playing against Alabama is just. It's playing against Alabama. So I think our team's going to be excited to get back out there, move the ball again, and I expect our defense to be stand up like it usually is. So I'm going to take the Dogs here. Offensive and defensive guys, I'm going to give my offensive guy first. I just got to get Will Rogers. I mean, get him more confidence. He was playing really, really well in that stretch that was Texas A&M and Arkansas. Get back into that and just get back on track, and we can finish the season really, really strong. Big opportunities ahead for that guy.
Yeah. For me, I don't know the situation with injuries and everything with our running backs, but I know one guy. Give me Rara.
Okay. So did something happen with our running backs?
Last game Dylan didn't play against Bama, and Marks kind of got knocked up in that one. So
okay, gotcha.
It was weird.
You got Rara on this one though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like it.
And can I pick defensive player first?
Yes.
Give me Forbes.
Dang it.
He's been my one constant source of happiness over the past 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, I like it. I've been away from Mississippi State football for a few weeks now, and kind of trying to get back into the swing of it, trying to remember who all's on our team. Give me Bookie Watson. He's that kind of guy that just can make a stupid play every now and then, but can make just the play in any game that just changes the momentum. And I'm not sure we're going to need a huge momentum shift in this game, but if we do need it, he's the guy I want to make it. All right, you got a score for me?
I've been sitting here on this one. Okay.
Keep in mind, we're 12.5-point favorites. Yeah, are we going to cover that?
And I don't think that we're covering. So let me accidentally say a score that has us covering. Give me Mississippi State 38, Auburn 31.
Okay, I like it. I think we're definitely going to cover, and I think we're going to score over 40 points as well. I'm going to give us 42-21. It's a random. I mean, it's a basic score, all touchdowns there, but it's probably going to account for like 7 missed extra points. So we're going to score 7 touchdowns, but not make an extra point. I like it. 42-21 for me, and then you said 38-31 for you. All right. Well, that is it for our pick'em, playmakers, scores, all that. We're going to move quickly into our Instagram questions. We guys, thank you so much for sending those in. We posted the prompt today, and so didn't have much time to get them in, but we have several of them here that we're excited to answer. Thanks for that, and let's get into them. So our friend, and now somewhat of a co-host, unofficial Hail State. Do you think that our players will give a little bit more due to the CoHIM hire at Auburn? No.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it really affects the football team. Like if baseball was doing something, yeah, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that in baseball, I feel like it may be a little bit more of a stab in the back, and I'm kind of glad it didn't happen during baseball season. Just because he's a baseball guy. Sometimes he's on the baseball broadcasts. Like that's just kind of what he revolves around. So yeah, I think it happening in football season, even though football is a far more important sport in the grand scheme of things, I think it's better that it happened now. Don't think our players are really going to care too much.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah too asked rank foods from ours and Jack's wedding, meaning yours and my wedding. So fun fact, I didn't get to eat much at all at my wedding. Food number one for my wedding, and I guess that's where I'll have to stop. But number one is the ice cream, Mississippi State ice cream.
Is that all you ate?
I actually didn't eat any of that, but I have it in my freezer now, and I've had several since I've gotten back from the honeymoon. So.
Yeah. So I can give a little touch on y'all's. The mashed potato bar. I know Courtney is a fan of that. That was really good. Y'all had some sliced meat of some sort.
I think it was like prime rib.
Yeah. It was. I liked it. There were some. I believe they were Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah.
Those were fantastic.
We had like plates made for us that we ate in like a private little room, but I like scarfed down like one biscuit and maybe some spinach artichoke dip. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
Y'all's wedding, I'm trying to think. It's been a few months.
There was the chicken parm sliders.
Yes.
At ours, and then there was like the crawfish beignets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those were pretty good.
I'm getting y'all's rehearsal dinner food mixed up because there were
just
steaks
steak
that night. Yeah.
That was good.
Hard to beat that. Yeah. But yeah. I thought the little bit of food that I did have from our wedding was good.
My cake was good.
Wait, what?
My groom's cake was good.
Oh yeah. Did you get some ice cream?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had muscadine ripple, butter pecan, and chocolate. And butter pecan, absolute favorite. So
muscadine ripple, love it.
All right. Next question we got. Cher Taylor asks, when will Sarah and Courtney join you for a show?
November 31st.
November 31st.
Big day.
Mm-hmm. Super excited about that one. And you get ready. Brooks Taylor asks, Tennessee, really?
Maybe.
Really, I'm not sure. I might be missing some context here. He also said better not be 3-2 this weekend. Okay, that means the Auburn score. The Auburn score better not be 3-2 this weekend. I don't think it's going to be that. I'm going to bet the over for sure. But I was in attendance for the 3-2 game, and man, I bet Brooks is talking about Tennessee being the number one team in the country. And
win over Bama.
Yeah, they've just, the committee probably has the whole 2019 LSU team in their mind, and they're like, we got to get ahead of it this year. So, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with the ratings, like just having a top 3 matchup this week. It's just going to do numbies. So yeah, Tennessee number one team until proven otherwise. Courtney Taylor, excuse me.
Dude.
That's a big deal. Courtney Taylor asks, go-to wedding dance move? I just like to jump up and down and then get like really low right before like the main part of the chorus happens.
Why didn't y'all play Jump Around then?
Look, I was about to say we didn't make the playlist, but we did.
I feel like Jump Around would have been perfect for your favorite dance move.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah, I'm a big jump guy. I also do this move that like looks like I'm driving a car, but I'm not, because I'm on a dance floor dancing.
Did you hit an air guitar at any point?
That's Courtney's move. I'm kind of slowly adopting it, but
yeah.
She's a big air guitar girl. What about yours? Do you have one?
No.
All right.
I kind of just like laughing at people. So that's
pointing and laughing.
Dude, I love it so much.
All right. The last question comes from Nathan Taylor. Was the Alabama game the best day of Jack's life? The day of the Alabama game. Absolutely it was. Yes. We scored a touchdown in Bryant Denny. What? I mean,
we scored.
Doesn't get much better than that. No, wedding day. quickly became my favorite day of all time. So much fun. Yeah. Was it the best day of your life, Hunter?
Top 20.
Yeah. I would definitely say top 20 for me.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, you've had several days in your life.
I've had a lot of days in my life.
So, top 20.
Just give me like a guess of how many days I've had in my life.
Mm,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Like 8,000?
There's been 8,313 days in my life.
I was really close to saying 80,000, but that would not have made sense.
That wouldn't be right.
I'm proud of my answer.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
All right, so that is all our Instagram. Yeah. That's all of our Instagram questions for this week, and that is it for our episode. So we are super excited about another weekend of college football. A lot of good games, including America's Game of the Week, having Auburn travel to Starkville. Super excited to come back next week and tell you guys all that happened if you don't just watch the game. If you rely on us for this information, I'm so very sorry. Until next week, my name is Jack Taylor. His name is Hunter too.
Look at us.
Ooh, there we go. And we will see you back next week on Going for Two with Jack Taylor.
Dude, so this is what's called the outro. I know you haven't been here for a while, but like most of the time, like we don't talk during this part, and then like 5 seconds after it's over, we'll start talking again, and it'll kind of be like an after show.
You remember that time that Luke gave us hockey pucks?